What's up? Bill McCleskey in the building with
my boy.
He said my boy.
Just be smooth. Can't stop till I won't stop till I can't stop till I won't stop till I can't stop till I won't stop till I.
Yo, we got the hottest podcast in the nation. TechDontSleep.com. Follow us today.
Can't stop till I won't stop till I ain't no Chico. Just be smooth. Can't stop till I won't stop till I can't stop till I won't stop till I can't stop till I won't stop till I ain't no Chico. Just be smooth.
Hi everybody, this is Barbie Evans with TechDontSleep. We have
Trinity Wiles. I'm the co-founder of Wear and Share.
Yay, and we have
I'm Sierra with my tech.
and today we're going to talk about some technical things, but first we're going to play a game that Sierra put together just to kind of get us talking about different things. And so Sierra, you can go ahead and take over that.
Yes, so we have a nice little icebreaker just to get us all warmed up and comfortable talking. The game I came up with is called Fact or Fiction. So it's just the compile of questions that I found on the internet, and we're gonna see if you think that they're fact or if they're fiction. So
do you tell me if they're right or not?
yeah, we can. Yeah, so we're not gonna time you this time, but we can discuss them afterwards to see if you want to go in detail for each one. But we're gonna try to make this as kind of fast paced.
Okay, let's go. I'm ready.
Cool, awesome. Okay, so you ready?
Yep, let's do it.
Let's start. So the first one, each person owns an average of 7 pairs of blue jeans.
False.
Nope, that's true.
I would think it would be less. I own more than
too.
7, but I think people would have like 4.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll discuss it after. We gotta go back. Okay, so email has been around longer than World Wide Web.
False.
That's true.
Oh,
I didn't know that was
Social dilemma, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
More cell phone bars mean better service.
True.
No, that one's false.
I didn't know that one.
I mean, that's what Google told me.
Because every time I look at the bar, I'm like, oh, I got service.
Yeah,
So
well,
why-
That's what I thought too,
how's my bar?
I have no idea, but
I wonder
Google
what the
said
bars
that it was
mean
false.
then.
Okay, well, I trust Google. I'm not questioning it.
right.
I'm just,
I was like, oh, okay. So
I
no
guess I
longer-
don't know as much about tech as I thought.
Yeah. The next one is t-shirts are one of the most popular items of clothing in the world.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say so.
Yep, you got that one. Sneakers are only for the gym.
That is so false.
Yes, as you can see,
So
I'm wearing
false.
my sneakers
Yes,
today.
yes.
Yes. See, sneakers are life.
Yeah.
Black and brown should not mix.
That is also false.
Yes, that is true. Good. The second oldest item of clothing is the skirt.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
What's
I
the
mean,
first? Sandals?
no, I think they said. Oh, I can't remember what they said was the first one.
Because men used to wear skirts.
Right.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, because they
So I
were
wonder
even
what
wearing
the
them
first
back
was.
in biblical days too, with skirts. So that makes sense.
Maybe a dress.
Maybe
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
The first computer was almost 2.5 meters high and weighed nearly 30,000 kilograms, I think, or
Yeah.
pounds or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. The name Google was created accidentally.
Yes.
Yes, I did not know that. That was interesting. You shouldn't mix prints together.
Oh, that is so false. I'm the queen of seeing how many prints I can wear that mix and just don't match with each other.
I used to
but bring
hear
it
that.
together.
Don't wear polka dots and stripes, and now it
No,
doesn't
that looks
matter.
so good. They have to be the
Yeah.
right polka dots.
And the right thickness of
Yes, I'm a huge believer of you can wear anything as long as it just looks right on you.
Yeah,
so it doesn't
I
matter.
agree.
Mac computers can't get viruses.
I feel like that's false.
It is.
That is. Well, I don't own a Mac computer, so I wouldn't know.
I do.
But, leaving your phone plugged in damages the battery.
False.
Yes, you are correct. The first pair of Levi jeans were sold for $6 worth of gold dust.
False.
Nope, that's true.
What?
Yep,
I don't even
I
have
actually learned it in
story.
school. Yep, somebody sold them for $6 worth of gold dust. I'm pretty sure
That's
that person
crazy.
is mad. Mark Twain was the inventor of the bra clasp.
No.
Yep, it's true.
Really?
Yep.
That's wild.
I didn't know that either.
That's
but
wild.
if you think about it, men are kind of like the inventors of a lot of stuff for women.
Because they know what they want to look like.
That's true. That is
But
very
women
true.
know how they want to feel. So what they do is they improve the product.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That, like, I just think about the story of like Spanx, and yeah, like men invented pantyhose, but then that founder, I think her name's Sarah, she invented the Spanx because she's like, I understand what women really want to wear and
Right.
how they want to feel.
But most of the fashion designers are men.
Men, yes.
Like Halston.
Yes.
Like they have a documentary about him, and he created dresses that women weren't even thinking about wearing, and he didn't even wear any of the stuff. But he could look at a woman straight and see what would look nice on her.
Right.
So most of the fashion gurus like are
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
Calvin Klein, Marc
Yeah.
Jacobs,
yeah.
the founder of Gucci, Louis Vuitton, all of them. So I find that really funny because I feel like women would really escalate in the fashion world if they invented, were the creators of the fashion, because they know what women want.
Yeah. There's still a lot of space for innovation in the fashion industry. I mean, that's something that continuously evolves and changes really quickly. And I think even social media has accelerated a lot of trends and new things. I mean, you see fashion pieces like coming from TikTok and social media now.
Yeah.
Like the social media platforms are telling you
Yeah,
what's cool.
what you can and
We're not
cannot wear.
looking at necessarily like a runway in Milan
Yeah.
anymore. We're
Yeah.
like, okay,
Well,
what's around us?
Yeah,
What's-
I still don't get with men and skirts to a certain extent. Please don't.
Maybe it's a comfort
I
thing.
don't know how to
I
do
don't
that out,
know.
but I can see that, but I still can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
I don't think that will ever come back.
I just don't understand the vastness. It's like now skinny jeans and then skirts. Like, where's the correlation when it comes to what men want to wear? But nonetheless, I think a lot of stuff is beginning to be like unisex. So you can do
For sure.
you can do whatever.
Well,
so.
especially for women, because women, like I know for me personally, I can definitely go on in a store who serves both men and women and
And
go to the
find
women's stuff
something.
and find something on both sides.
Yeah, that's
But I
true.
probably feel more comfortable wearing the guy stuff, especially if it's graphic T-shirts or shorts
Yeah.
or something, because it's like
I
not too
agree
tight.
with that, and actually I have a bone to pick with that because like I find the dopest shirts in the men's section.
Yes.
Like the ones like the shirt you're wearing, or like the ones that have words on them, or that have a statement.
Yes.
Somehow the statement shirts seem to be more in the men's section. So I go to the men's section all the time, and my son is like, "Get away from me!" I find things that say more things.
Right,
the
and
men's
stuff you can
section.
relate to. I feel like the girls' side T-shirts, they're always like girl power and rainbows and sparkles. And I'm like, okay, but can I have a little bit more?
Yeah.
So I go to the guys' side, I find like graphics. And
So maybe we should create that.
So yeah, if someone's listening or if you guys want to create it, there's definitely room for opportunity.
Yeah, so maybe
Some
we should
more
create
female
that.
graphic
Yeah.
tee representation in here. So
I like that. That's an idea.
Yeah.
So we have two more. Hold on. So the original name for Windows was Interface Manager.
yeah. Yeah, that seems like it would be.
Yep, that's true. And then the last one, closing apps on your iPhone saves battery life.
Yeah. I don't know. I have a Google Pixel, y'all.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
But I mean, but it says it's false. So, talking about creating things, what was, if you can kind of just give us a short overview of creating your app, Wear and Share, and how that started, and kind of what's going on with that.
Yeah, of course. So my co-founder and I started this company. He actually operates another business, and one of his brands is manufacturing fitting rooms, which is a very random industry, but it is an industry that exists. So he's in the portable building manufacturing industry, and working with retailers over the years, realized the fitting room is the highest sales conversion zone. Yet retailers have no information on what their customers are trying on, no data on who that customer is. and no way to market back to them.
Yep.
So me as a customer and being in the tech space and someone who loves fashion, we came together and we said, how can we create a better experience for customers while also giving these retailers, brands, designers, manufacturers like real-time data analytics on what their customers are trying on, who they are, and the ability to market back to them. So we have 3 interconnected platforms that we're working on right now. We have an interactive mirror that actually sits outside the fitting room.
Wow.
It's very experiential. It's like a marketing engine for stores, so customers can go in, they can play on the mirror. I can't get in too in the weeds with what exactly it does yet.
That's fine.
But it also connects to a social sharing app where shoppers can then push out, engage with other people's content from the mirror, and actually shop photos directly through the app. And then retailers, we have a software as a service for them that gives them a whole overview on what people are buying and trying on in stores and also online, on social media and everything like
I think
that.
that's a good idea.
So we really saw like an opportunity to shake up the retail space, especially the fitting room that hasn't seen innovation in
Ever.
So definitely getting into that space is really fun and it's exciting for me, obviously, and we're solving real problems in a lot of different ways. So
I think that's true. I think that part of what you guys might do, I guess you can call the fitting room, unfortunately, it's the closet, but it actually should be the window for stores. So sometimes like you'll go into a fitting room and everything is everywhere. There's actually no people manning it. It's just like that thing that somebody unlocks.
it's neglected.
Neglected.
And
So
it's
to find a
gross.
space
Most of
in
the
it,
time
I
you
think
go
is
and
good.
it's like terrible experience.
So to find a space in it, I think that's awesome. And we were actually talking about that, we borrow ideas from different times in our life, and I think that that's why sharing information is so important. So Sierra and I were talking about 2 different movies that would seem so far away from each other. One of them is Clueless, which is a fashion movie, and they actually had iconic fashion that actually started trends from that movie. But they had a mirror in there that was kind of interactive for its time. Then there's another movie about overpopulation called What Happened to Monday, and each of the girls go into the mirror and it tells them how to fix their makeup. And so those movies I think are 20 years difference, but yet they're women in the characters and they are talking about how they look. So that will never seem
go
to change
out of style
throughout time. So
especially with the Clueless one, because it was I think it was made in like the early 90s. And so that kind of like idea of going to your closet and picking out your outfits from a screen wasn't really an idea at the time. I think people thought like how FaceTime and iPhones would look today. It was just so new and so like, I don't think I would ever see that in my closet. It's cool if they put it in there. And then the fact that you're doing it now is like, oh wow, I could probably actually see this.
And I think that's
It's
the great
about
thing.
time.
I think that's the great thing about technology. It has a way of making ideas become more tangible.
Right.
So I'm gonna switch gears just for a second. So I have listed here, I'm not sure if you have yours there, but there are, you and I were talking, excuse me, I'm sorry for that. You and I were talking yesterday or a couple days ago about, there's a documentary called Social Dilemma. So we're gonna discuss that briefly. So I put certain fact points that are from the movie, and so we're just gonna go around and start with Sierra, you can read yours.
Mine says, am I reading the one in the box or the one up under?
The one in the box.
Okay. The number of countries with political disinformation campaigns on social media doubled in the past 2 years.
Okay. And part of that was due to social media, data analytics, and people being able to share different information, whether it was right or wrong. So you can go to your second one if you want to.
This one says 64% of the people who joined extremist groups on Facebook did so because the algorithms steered them there.
Okay. So in the documentary, it talks about how a lot of civil unrest was almost fueled by the technology that is used for good in social media. But just like a car, if you drive it too fast, it becomes a weapon now. So technology can be used in a good way, like we're talking about for fashion and entertainment, but then we also know if put in the wrong hands, it can be used in a negative way. So one of the other points was a 5,000 person study found that higher social media use correlated with more self-reported declines in mental health and life satisfaction. So I just want to get your guys' opinion on how you think social media affects us and how we can maybe use that responsibly since we're in the tech world, and how we can become more responsible with even the information that we look at and share, and even that we share from our own lives. So what's your opinion on that documentary?
Yeah, so I think social media, I think it's a beautiful tool, but I can also see how it can be used in terrible ways and for bad things. But I think there's a lot of different things that we could compare that platform to, right? Kind of like going back to the situation where you were saying if you drive a car too fast and you crash, that's a problem, but a car's great because it can get you to where you need to go, or your job, whatever. So it's all about, I think, how it's being used. And I think that these big social media companies, and even us being a social company with our application, we all have some sort of responsibility to inform our users about the dangers or like the adverse impact of the platform that we're providing them to. So I think people are trying to do that in government, and they're trying to make users own their data more and be more aware of how their data is being used and how they're being targeted, which I think is good. I mean, we could get into a whole nother conversation on like, how do you govern the internet? Like, why is there a California Consumer Privacy Act, but the internet's everywhere? So like, I mean, we can get into that later, but I think getting to the bottom line, it's like social media is a tool. We have a responsibility to tell the users of the platform and make them aware of how their information is being used and how it can impact their lives, either in like a negative or positive way.
And I agree.
I'm sorry. No, you're fine.
And I think that I actually think that the way that you guys are using it is good, because you're letting the consumers know, and you're letting the marketing world know also. This is going to be used to make your shopping experience better. We'll be able to tailor your shopping experience more to what you're looking for, more to what you don't like, or materials you like, or brands you like. And so it's a lot more open, instead of just saying, hey, just go look at this mirror and tell us where you are, and therefore, and it's a lot more honest and open. So I think that's a good thing about your SAS application, that allows them to know what they're doing when they're using your technology.
Exactly.
I did have a question.
Yeah.
So I know watching some clips from The Social Dilemma, I know it's talking about how the internet can grab your information. And so my question is kind of like, how do we know with your device how much information is too much information? So how to keep it more, I guess, tailored to a certain thing? And I know for me personally, if I go to, a shop called Fashion Nova or something, and then I get on Facebook, and now it's there. Now it's there, and I'm like, okay, so how do I stop? I don't want to see that right there.
So that might be like a cookies thing that you actually accept on the website. But everything we're doing has to be an opt-in, or the user signs up, and we make it very clear in like terms and conditions in our privacy policy how information is being used. And the shopper on their profile can actually control what content goes public or what stays private with them.
Okay.
So that's something that we're giving users the power to control their content in that way, and really just be aware, and us as a company being transparent of how we're using this information to personalize the shopping experience for them, not being like shady or anything about it.
That's good. Yeah, it also reminds me, I know I said Clueless, and I said this other movie that came out in 2017, but the Jetsons used to do that. Y'all remember the Jetsons? This probably was before your time. I was born in the 80s, so I remember the Jetsons.
Is it the cartoon?
Yes. Okay, yeah. And the Jetsons used to go into the closet. I'm telling my age, and that's okay. It's okay. The Jetsons the little machine used to dress them.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all remember that, but they would, you know, brush their teeth and put on their clothes and do their makeup. Like the maid, she was a bot almost, and she would do their makeup and stuff and put them out and stuff. And it's funny because when I went shopping the other day, this lady was like, "Don't you just miss that Jetsons? Wouldn't you wish we could get dressed by the Jetsons maid?" I said, "Yeah, I agree with that." So so we here at Tech Don't Sleep, what we want to do is make sure that we are talking about technology that is useful for our base. And is useful for the people that might be interested in technology. And to be honest, whether you're a tech head or not, we all use technology, whether we have a choice to or not, unless you're just gonna like light a fire and just like never touch nothing, which is not likely today.
Right.
So just a quick question, what do you guys think about the cars that drive?
Oh, the self-driving cars.
Yes.
Very cool technology, and as someone that hates driving, I think they're great. I don't have one, but we could go into a whole debate of the AI and how do you train the car to respond to objects or people in the road? Like, what is that car gonna do?
Yeah.
So I think that's probably where you're going with that.
Yes, I'm a Criminal Minds.
Oh, you're one of those.
Yes. And they had an episode where someone took a car and used it as a weapon because they were able to hack it and make it go and crash into people or whatever. So I was just asking. Domino's is now delivering pizzas with their automated cars. By the way,
I don't think I
pretty
like
cool.
them. I don't think. No, I think that's a no for me.
You're
Just because-
trusting people more than technology to drive the cars.
Well, I think I'm trusting myself because a person who likes to be in
It's not
control.
about you, it's about the other people on the road or the other self-driving cars.
But I don't know. I just don't think that would work for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I can put my trust in technology
To that level?
Yeah.
I think it needs to be tested more. I would like to see more tested.
Because I think technology can sometimes fail. And then once it fails, you in the middle of the road, like what's going to happen if it just, automatically stops or run out of batteries? I don't know how it operates. So
it's already being used actually. And here's a good way. In very small applications, people that do not have the physical capability to drive, people who are paralyzed, people that may not be able to use their arms or their legs. There are certain apparatuses that they are able to use that allow them to be able to drive. Now they have control based on what their physical capabilities are, but some people who may not be able to use all their bodily functions when they're driving are able to use certain applications in small pieces, not the whole car being automated, but certain things are automated for them. So there's certain pedals that work with people who may have aesthetics for their legs and things like that. So there are different ways that bits and pieces of that technology is already being used, and we may not know it because, but it is. Now, as far as a car, I don't know, but
I would totally.
I changed my mind because I got to teach my son how to drive next year, so I might
have
want
the
car
car can teach him,
so I can tell it to stop and he needs to stop. So
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I did have a couple of questions. I wanted to switch back kind of to your gadget because I majored in fashion merchandising.
I love it.
And so I love fashion. So I love this idea because like we both discussed earlier with going to the fitting room and it being untouched because that's working in retail, that's the number one place where you can sell an item because once somebody tries it on and they see it on themselves, then they're like, okay, I want this item for sure. But I did want to know, like, how does are you putting the device in, well, first off, can you discuss the device in a little bit more detail as much as you can, and can you are you going to put it in retail stores or mainly boutiques or high-end fashion? Like, where is it exactly going to go?
Yeah. I'll talk about as much as I can with this. So this actually, we call it a selfie suite. We actually just got that trademark, so very excited about that. The selfie suite is a mirror and it's very interactive. It sits outside the fitting room. Now the reason for that is getting into obviously compliance issues and like the legality of like, let's not put a camera in the fitting room because it does have a camera and sensor component to it to be able to track what people are trying on and actually do some other things as well. But what we've really seen like from fitting room technology so far isn't much. So people have tried to do technology in fitting rooms with maybe like a tablet that sits in the fitting room and they can order a new size. But the thing is, you're then relying on a sales associate on the floor to be trained to go get that item, to come back, and like you're paying this person like minimum wage. There's a high turnover in that industry. None of these like functional fitting room technologies have really taken off at all. So we wanted to make ours so self-service and so experiential that it's all about the customer. So a sales associate essentially will never really have to interact with the mirror or respond to anything in the mirror other than like when we first install it and we have installers going and they have to flip a switch and turn it on. So we completely rethought that whole like fitting room technology. I mean, one of the first things I did was like call up all these companies that had like failed trying to do these fitting room technologies, and I asked them, I said, why did this not work?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, why? And a lot of them just go back to having that technology rely on the sales associates in a lot of training and other things. So we want to make this so easy for the customer to use and so simple that it's like a very enjoyable, like frictionless experience. So.
Okay. So are you looking to put it more so in like stores like Forever 21, Ross, stuff
So
like that? Or?
Our go-to-market strategy, we're launching with mid-level retailers, so the smaller to like mid-level regional chains.
Okay.
We're gonna have locations across the U.S. though. I can't like talk too much in detail about who those people are yet, but it's super exciting. We really want to give these smaller and mid-level retailers the capabilities to compete with like the Amazons of the world and give them a very unique experience, because through this pandemic a lot of them had to shift fully online or like temporarily online, and we really realized like to get people back into the store they have to have a good experience, and the experience doesn't end at the store.
Right.
It continues through product discovery with photos online, on social media, to post-purchase and actually like shopping online. And it's like, how can we connect all of these things together in like an ecosystem versus just thinking of, you know, you have your online store and then you have your in-store, and they don't connect.
They never
So
connect, right?
that's really like what we're trying to do with that.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I have a quick question. So if someone, let's say I wanted to create an app, what would I do?
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Like if you could just like overview, like if someone wanted to create an app or they had an idea, what would be like the start of that, or like what type of people would they connect to? Who would they need to reach out to, and things like that?
So I think the first thing that you need to do when you have an idea about anything, whether it's an app or like any other product idea, is do your validation. So you want to validate like you're not the only person with this problem, or like real people would actually use your app or you know, buy your product or use your service, and it's really solving a problem. So I think first thing is just getting that idea validation, talking to a lot of people in what you think your target market would be, and doing like surveys. I did a lot of phone calls, I did a lot of like in-person meetings, and just figuring out like, is this a problem people have? Are we solving a real problem? And is this something people would pay for? So starting with that customer and idea validation, and once you get that validation, really laying out everything you want in your first version. So your first version of your project or platform is going to be what you call your minimum viable product. And how can you provide the most value to your end users with like the minimal amount of like fancy features and things. And that's really where you want to start with that, is narrowing it down to what is that one version going to be for that user.
And then what's the market value, and then what's the quality of it, and
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, cool. Okay, and then also we were talking about how I think you brought up a good point, because a lot of times, because there's so much shared information, when we come up with something, everybody is maybe so, we covet it, but I think a good thing that you did is that you called out to people who were in the industry and asked a question. And I think that more people would probably, like, when you get ready to do something, it is good to know what your base is and your area is, and to reach out to that expert, those people in that are experts in that, and ask them what happened, what made yours work, what didn't. And I think that's a good idea if you're starting out with something, just to actually not only reach out to the consumer base, but to also the people who are probably involved in that industry. So,
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think, it's a great way to even get like your first customers that way. Because you're not really going to sell them anything when you just have an idea. You're like, hey, I have this idea. I'm just seeing if this is something you would use as a customer, or do you have this problem? And just start developing the relationship that way. Usually, that person or that business owner will be like, well, let me know when it's ready, because you are solving a problem for me. Because if it is a good idea, or if it's something that you should pursue, then that's usually how it goes. And that person can be, one of your first customers then, as long as you like develop that relationship and keep that going. But yeah. Awesome. People are usually very helpful and nice and like willing to help, and I really believe it's like all about your network and the connections you make, and it's all relationships, really.
Yeah, I agree.
So I had a question.
Yeah.
So is your invention or app, is the goal to get more people in the stores? Because like in the day and age right now, a lot of people are shopping online, especially after COVID, because I am one of those people. I do not like going into the store. I do not like dealing with people and having to search and find when I can just look on my phone or just go to an app while I'm laying in the bed and pick out what I want. So are you guys trying to get more people to go to the stores, or?
I would say it's not like our number one goal with it, but yes, we do help drive traffic to retail stores and drive online traffic as well through the social sharing component of it. So.
Okay, that's smart.
Cool. So what we want to do is make sure that you said you have a podcast, or you were on a podcast?
I do Tech Talks on LinkedIn.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Yeah. So we just want to make sure that if anybody wanted to reach out to you, how can they find you? Are you on LinkedIn, Facebook, social media? And then, what college did you go to again?
I went to Western Carolina University down in North Carolina.
Okay, cool.
Go Catamounts.
To Nashville.
I came here to start this company. I'm originally from Ohio. My co-founder has a facility in manufacturing out in Gilletsville, so with his other company. So I just thought Nashville would be a good place. And,
it is. It actually is.
I feel like Nashville chose me.
So.
I just ended up here.
Okay. Yeah. So what we want to thank you for coming to our podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Talking about your invention, I think is awesome. I think that it will completely change the dressing room from a closet to actually a place that people are actually wanting to go to. Because now it's, I might have to go to the store to check it out. Like, I'm gonna get out the bed, go and check it out. So let me know.
And then you can shop later on the app with what you see.
And then also it also can be used just not for women, just dressing rooms prettier for men and things like that. So men can try on their skirts or their skinny jeans or whatever it is that you want to wear.
It doesn't matter.
Whatever you want to wear, the mirror will not judge you. Just try on what you want to try on. Just don't ask me to validate that. Anyway, so you work out of the EC, and my tech also does too. And so what we'll be doing at our next podcast is interviewing. What we want to do is interview innovative people like you who come up with great ideas that has new technology coming into the world that we all can be aware of and all can look out for. So we want to thank you again.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. This was fun.
Thanks.
This is really fun.
How do we download the app? Ask her that.
Well, we're in test flight right now, so we're beta testing. We're not launched yet.
Okay.
But I'll let y'all know. I'm on LinkedIn, Trinity Wiles. You can email me at trinity.wiles@wearandshare, and that's WHERE. And share.com.
Okay. And we'll definitely put it below at on the video as well for you guys to check it out.
Sweet.
Okay. All right.
Awesome.
That's it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.